One day, you're gonna look back at your life, and there will be a moment you wish you had listened a little sooner. And if you're honest, you can already feel that moment breathing down your neck. There's something I learned the hard way, something nobody warned me about, and I need to tell you before you repeat the cycle again. Because I know exactly what it feels like to keep starting over. That quiet frustration, that mix of hope and embarrassment, that voice whispering, why am I still here? Why haven't I moved? You know that pattern, right? You get inspired, you get moving, and then life throws a punch. A bad week, a delay, a failure you didn't expect. And suddenly all that momentum disappears. Your new beginning resets back to zero, like someone wiped your progress clean. But here's the part no one ever told you. You're not starting over because you're weak. You're starting over because you've been trained, almost programmed to quit the moment life stops clapping for you. And school punished mistakes. Work rewards repetition. Society tells you no pain, no gain, but never teaches you patience, the kind John Lennon talked about when he said life happens while you're busy making other plans. And because of that, you don't embrace failure, you fear it. You're not losing energy, you're leaking it. But stay with me, because the real reason you keep restarting isn't what you think it is. And once you see it, really see, it's something inside you will shift. Permanently, this is the beginning of the last restart you'll ever have. Because once you understand this, you'll never see yourself or your life the same way again. If part one felt uncomfortably familiar, now it's time to shine a light on the mechanism behind the cycle. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they don't understand how motivation actually works. Every time you start something new, you feel that rush, the energy, the excitement, the hope. It feels like gravity finally flipped in your favor. But what nobody told you is that this feeling is a moment amidst dopamine. And dopamine lies. It gives you the high of future success before you've earned a single inch of it. But then the work gets boring or slow, and suddenly your brain goes hunting for the next thing that feels exciting. A new plan, a new idea, a new this time will be different. That's not failure, that's biology. And biology always wins unless you understand the game. You keep starting over because your identity never changed, only your goals did. If you see yourself as someone who tries, you'll keep trying. If you see yourself as someone who gets back on track, you'd always fall off track. If you see yourself as someone who needs motivation, you'll forever be stuck waiting for it. That's why embracing failure matters. That's why patience matters. That's why no pain, no gain is only half the story without self-awareness. Pain becomes punishment instead of progress. But here's the good news. Nothing about this is permanent. But you're not broken. You're patterned. And patterns can be rewritten. By the time we finish this journey, you'll see a shift so simple you'll be annoyed nobody taught it to you earlier, one that breaks this loop and keeps you moving long after motivation fades. Life isn't just testing your willpower, it's setting up invisible triggers designed to push you off course. And if you don't recognize them, they keep looping you back to square one. First, there's the comfort trap. A little voice says, this is easier, safer. It might be Netflix instead of studying, scrolling instead of creating, waiting instead of acting. Every time you listen, your brain rewards you with temporary relief but steals your future growth. Then there's the comparison rap. You watch someone else succeed and it either motivates you or makes you doubt yourself. Most people choose doubt. You think, why even try? I'll never catch up. Next comes the impatience trap. You expect results fast, and when the first week or month doesn't deliver, you panic. You reset, you start over, and finally, the hardest one, the hidden fear of success. Success changes things. It forces you to grow, to leave comfort behind. That's terrifying without awareness, Most people don't see these triggers coming because they're invisible routines. Habits, thought patterns so subtle you don't notice until it's too late. Here's the secret though. Triggers can be neutralized. Not by fighting harder, not by sheer willpower, but by understanding why they exist and learning the small shifts that make them powerless. Now we get to the part where change begins. The mindset shifts that make starting over optional, not inevitable. First, stop waiting for motivation. Act even when you don't feel like it. Winners know that small, consistent steps beat bursts of inspiration every single time. Second, embrace disciplined patience. Real growth is invisible at first. John Lennon wasn't waiting for his moment, he was building it, note by note, day by day, failure by failure. Third, redefine failure. Stop fearing it, stop resenting it, start decoding it. Every mistake is a compass guiding you toward the right path. Fourth, change your identity, not your goals. You don't become someone who tries harder. You become someone who follows through. Your goals adjust to your identity, not the other way around. Finally, guard your environment. Protect your space, your routines, and your influences like you protect your vision. They will either reinforce your growth or drain it. Apply even two of these shifts, and the endless cycle of starting over begins to break. Momentum becomes permanent. Frustration becomes optional. Now, here's how to lock it in. The actionable steps that make starting over the last thing you'll ever need to do. 1. Set identity-based goals. Forget temporary motivation. Become the person who finishes what they start. Your goals will follow naturally. To embrace micro progress daily. Small wins compound, 1 page written, 1 push-up done, 1 extra minute of focus. That's momentum in action. 3. Design your environment. Remove distractions, toxic influences, and comfortable traps. Surround yourself with people, routines, and spaces that reinforce your growth. Portray failures as lessons, not verdicts. Document, analyze, adjust but never reset entirely. They'll becomes feedback, not a restart. 5. Commit to patience and persistence. Real change is daily. Decide a day this is your final start over. Let your future self thank you. By combining these steps with the mindset shifts, starting over becomes optional. Momentum becomes a permanent companion. Regret becomes irrelevant because you are moving forward consistently and intentionally. That's why the next step is watch the next video titled, Why Most People Never Succeed. Fix this fast here. You have the map, the strategy, and the mindset to finally break free. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Apply it, build momentum. And when you do, share it with someone else who needs this message. We are Wisdom Recorder. See you on next video.